Hello all. My name is Alicia Goldner. I am a school teacher. I teach math. Have been for almost 20 years now, and I love it. But another thing that I love is my hobby, and that's gardening. So I wanted to start sharing that with other people. So the video that you're about to watch is me and my girls. They introduce themselves in the video, so I'll let them do that on their own. Sharing, or they're helping me garden and kind of sharing things that they know about gardening and they know about working with their mom. This is one of the things I've been thinking about for a while, and I keep getting stuck because I want my first video to be perfect or the right way or anything like that. And I guess that's going against what I'm going to share over my time making videos about the garden, because it's a learning process, and sometimes it fails, sometimes it's kind of clunky, sometimes a part of it works and a part of it doesn't. So that's what you're going to find in my videos. I'm learning. I'm just using my cell phone for the most part right now, like on the selfie mode, so anytime I show you a seed packet, the words are backwards. I'll figure that out later. So there's things I'm working on. My videos hopefully will evolve over time. So if you'd like to join us for our season of growing and harvesting food and working as a family on our 1 acre of land, then watch the rest and watch for other videos. Thank you for watching what is to come, and hope you enjoy. It's a lovely snowy day in western Pennsylvania. Let's see if that focuses. Yep, we're getting about 4 inches of snow today, and that's sitting on top of, I don't know, the 10 or 12 that we already had. So I'm doing one of my most favorite things in the world, and that is dreaming about my garden this summer. So I want to start some of our cold weather things. So this is my new seed order for this year that I bought from Acre Creek. And the things that I'm starting right now. So this year, one of the things I'm trying to do is not buy any sets or starts. I'm going to try to make grow my own starts for onions this year. So that's the main thing I want to get done today is start my onions. This is one kind that I bought, and I already have a couple kinds that I'll show you in a minute. One thing that I have not yet successfully grown is cauliflower, and my husband loves it, so we're going to try this year. And then this is the rest of the seed catch, or the new seed catch. These are all things that will either direct seed later or will start closer to our last frost date. Usually our last frost date is Mother's Day. We're planting in western Pennsylvania. However, the past 2 Mother's Days, I believe, have been snowing or about at freezing, so that has not worked to our advantage the past 2 years. So something I've discovered for helping organize and keep my seeds in order, an old CD case, because, you know, we don't use CDs anymore. Everything is streaming, and we don't need DVDs, we don't need CDs. So repurposing here. So we're gonna start some cabbage, some Brussels sprouts. I did Brussels sprouts this past year for the first time. I just did 2 plants. They took forever. They're very good, but we just got like 1 serving of Brussels from those 2 plants, and I planted them, I think, about March, and we harvested them like January 2nd is when I kind of cleared out my garden, because we had a real mild fall, and we had 1 serving of Brussels sprouts. They were delicious, but I'm hoping to have a little more success this year. And we've got some broccoli that I'm going to start as well. And then I need to find my onion seeds. You'll find I have a fairly large obsession with planting and gardening. So I have several other onion seeds. I tried starting some seeds in my garden. I had read somewhere that you could start your onion seeds in the fall, like direct seed them in the fall, overwinter them, and then you get really nice big onions. I only had a few that actually made it, so I'll see how that works, but that's what I purchased these for. So I've got some red onions that we're going to start, and hope I didn't buy the exact same kind. Another yellow, and then we've got yellow sweet Spanish. So we've got 3 different yellows that we're growing. These are all supposed to be real good stores. One of my favorite things to plant is onions, just because pretty much every meal that we plant or that we grow, that we cook starts with an onion of some variety. So once we have onions coming out of the garden, there's a lot of base things that we can start. So I think that's all that I'm going to start today. The things that I've got ready to roll here, and I'll put some footage of my girls helping me here.
Okay, we're starting our planting, and we are organizing our cups.
Can you see your head?
Well, I'm organizing the cups. My sister loves to organize, so I might as well just let her do the whole thing.
There you go.
Hand stirring.
Okay. So why are we doing that?
I don't know, honestly, Mommy, I forget.
I've got just an old plastic bin with some potting soil. We watered it and mixed it in just to kind of, when you go to form a ball, it stays into a ball. Something I've discovered over time, it helps to water the soil in advance, and then you don't displace your seeds after you put them in. We've got some pots. I try to reuse these as much as possible. I've not purchased any of these. These are ones we end up when we buy plants or other people buy plants. They give us the pots. I just rewashed them in hot soapy water. And we've got some trays. And then also, since I'm going to soon be having help from my girls, lots of old rags around to wipe hands off and keep things under control. We just have an old sheet over our dining room table, and we're going to get some seeds started. So I'm going to pause the camera, call my ladies down to help, and we're going to get started. Okay. So we've got my lovely assistants. Who are you?
Gabby.
What else do we call you?
Goose.
Goose. You're going to hear Goose more often than Gabby. And who are you?
Quinn.
Quinn.
Slash Sissy. You're going to
Slash
be
Sissy.
Sissy more than Quinn.
Yes. And do you guys eat any of the things that we're starting right now?
No.
No. But do you like to help Mommy in the garden?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I eat potatoes, but we're not starting those.
Not yet, no. And this is something Mommy's trying for the first time, is starting a bunch in one pot. So we're going to put probably most of a packet of seeds
So just
in each
sprinkle
pot.
some in random.
Well, we'll see. I don't know if that might be too many. Again, I've done onions, but I've seen that you can do them like really thick, so like the pot almost looks like you're just growing grass. So we're going to try that this year, and we're going to see how it works, because a package of seeds, onion seeds, is significantly cheaper than buying onion sets or starts. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, because you don't spend any money after you buy them.
Right. And so the difference between sets and starts, sets are, sets are onions that have grown a season and been dried, and then you replant them. Starts are ones that are started from seeds, because onions are a biannual. They'll grow for 2 years. But I've heard that you'll have better storage results if you start from the starts from the ones that are seeds, since they only have grown their first year, and so they're not ready to decompose yet, because they want to finish that second year. Okay, so during this part of the process, you're going to see the girls filling the pots. Typically what we do is we fill them to just kind of right below the lip, and we do kind of press the soil down in, so as you water them, they don't sink too far down into the pot. So we push that down in, like I said, so it's just below the lip. Set those up. Along here, you're also going to see us kind of playing around with the pots to see how many fit in the tray. Now, for the trays, I did purchase these. I mentioned earlier in the video, the pots are all reused. I was finding I was having trouble making everything fit on my shelf, and if I needed to move them to take them outside or anything like that, the stuff that I was trying to use, like repurpose, wasn't sturdy enough, and I was dropping plants. So I did buy some heavy duty plastic trays, and that's what you're seeing us use. So the girls are helping fill with soil, and then I'm placing a whole bunch of seeds at the palm of my hand so that they can just pinch them from my hand and sprinkle them in the pots. You'll notice Quinn here is keeping our garden journal. We usually draw like a diagram and then squares or circles for the different shaped pots, and then we just number them, and then we write, like number 1 is this kind of onion. So Quinn's looking at the type, writing down the words. This is something I'm looking forward to, like looking back over time of the evolution of the backwards letters and the misspellings, and as things get neater and they figure out how to make the diagrams, it's just kind of fun to watch. So we're doing that, and then I'll come back to regular speed for a second to talk about a few things. Okay, so we just planted, I can't even imagine how many seeds. We probably have 800 to 1,000 onion seeds planted here. So we may be a little overzealous if these all...
I got it written down.
I'm getting the stink eye from my husband. When it comes to gardening, I'm always overzealous. Comments from the peanut gallery?
Nope.
Sorry. So we just started a ton of onion seeds. We have Southern Red Globe, and I'm probably going to say this wrong. Stagarter?
Stagarter.
Stagarter. Is that how you say it too? This one
here. Stagarter.
Yellow Parma.
Daddy wants it.
Daddy wants it to see how to pronounce it. Okay, let's see how the expert pronounces it. And Sweet Spanish.
Tobacco.
You guys did a fantastic job.
Okay, so he agrees with us, or can't do better than we can.
That one. Tobacco.
So, as I mentioned, I like to start a lot of onions. I tuck them in everywhere in the garden.
So I can find the onion.
Find the onion. Just because we use a lot of them. I've also discovered this year that I absolutely love fermented onions. So I'd like to do more of those going into the year. And also I like to plant a variety of things, and I like some things that don't require a lot to process, like tomatoes.
They take a lot.
Yeah, like they take a lot of effort. They have to be frozen. They have to be canned. You have to do something with them.
Yeah.
With onions, once they're done, you pull them. Like I usually kind of spread them out in a crate on a covered patio, let them dry, and then when we're ready, we bring them inside and put them in the basement. So I like onions for that aspect, and like I said, almost every recipe that we make, that my husband and I eat, I have fussy children. True?
True.
Starts with an onion, so we like to have a lot of those. So we put the damp soil in the bottom, we packed it in, we just sprinkled a lot of seeds, like this is probably 100 to 1,000 onion seeds. This is the first time I'm trying it this way. I'll keep you posted. Now the girls are going to take, we got some more soil. This is Happy Frog potting soil. I don't tend to use seed starting. It's just easier to have potting soil because to me it's more universal. And so what I'm going to have my girls do is just sprinkle this is a little drier. We had dampened the other. So it's just easier, just do a light layer, press that down, and we're going to put it on our shelf. We just have a utility shelf. I'll show you that we put next to a window that we have several different kinds of grow lights we use. So we're just going to put that on the shelf and see how long it takes for these to germinate. So go ahead, light layer on each pot and then press it down. If there's any like big chunks that you find in the soil, just kind of set those off to the side. Okay, so at this point we've finished our onions. They're sitting on the shelf getting ready to germinate for us, and we've switched to doing some cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. So again, the girls are helping me fill the trays. We're using some of like the little 2x2 trays again that we've repurposed from having other people bought plants and given them to us or whatever. They're pretty chintzy, so you have to be careful with how you fill them, otherwise you just tear them apart. We're playing around and seeing how they fit in the trays. We're doing a little math lesson of multiplication by 4s with my 3rd grader. I'm showing you at some point my rag that I'm using, which is my husband's old shirt that I have to cut in half to keep him from ending up putting the old ratty, holey t-shirts back in the drawer. So I'm picking on him there, showing you our different seed packets. These cold weather crops are a little newer for me, so I'm in the phase of learning here.
He's gonna have an extra box.
Sometimes you end up with mysterious plants starting places when you have children helping you.
Oh yeah, I can take some onions and sprinkle them in if you want.
So I'm just going to sprinkle a little soil over. Okay.
Mama, everything fits.
Perfect. Okay. So
Here's what we
there's Gabby's drawing.
Here's my perfect drawing.
Perfect drawing. Just so you guys know, as the ladies are doing this, we planted broccoli last year, and we just planted a few more. There's, if you guys see, I'm going to dump them if I try to show them. Like that corner that's black, that's all little tiny seeds, and they're itty, just a second, they're itty bitty. You can see, yeah, like that. And the center of my palm of my hand, that's, whoops, it's on the floor now. But they're like the size of a period, so there's a ton of seeds in each package. We have a big garden for some people, but it's not huge. So to plant all the things that I want, I can't go too crazy with some of the cool weather stuff, because then I don't have room for my peppers and my tomatoes. And does Mommy like tomatoes? Okay.
And corn.
And corn, but we do really like tomatoes. Quinn really likes potatoes.
I like Quinn.
I love winter squash. We do sweet potatoes, so we like a lot of variety. So if I get too crazy with these, I'm not going to have enough room for other things. I probably am going to start some more of these eventually, but this is all I'm starting today, because I'd actually like to sit on the couch and watch some football today.
That's nonsense.
That's nonsense. Okay, so just a couple things that I was thinking as the dog's complaining about going outside. He's gone in and out a million times. Oh, we have to stop and do that right now. Buddy, come here. Why don't you come over here with me? Come here. Q, come here. Come around. Come here. Come here, lucky dog. Okay, now we've got my other assistant here. So a couple of things that I was thinking as I'm cleaning up here, I'm refiling my seeds. When the seeds are really small, they don't need to go in very deep. Some of them we barely covered. There's some people that will just set them like in a hole in the center and let them come up without covering them at all. I typically cover a little bit, but kind of the rule is, or the guideline is twice the width of the seed. So like all the seeds that we planted today were about like the size of a period. So when you plant those, they just barely need to be covered. Let me get the dog here in a second. And some of them probably aren't covered. We'll see what happens. Gardening is an experiment. Okay.
They kind of have different shapes at the bottom. Yes, it does matter.
does it? How does it matter? I didn't know this.
This one's more curved, and this one's more pointed. And
Sometimes
you're
we make stuff
planting a
up.
more
It's okay.
pointed one. Then you want to use these. If you're planting a more round
Okay.
point, then you want to plant
Okay, Miss Dramatic, how about we put the soil in the pots, and then put the seeds in the pots, and stop being all crazy.